Hi everyone, my name is Brenda, and today I will talk about a reflection on emotional intelligence and what I learned on the LDR801 course with Dr. Kaufman. So, first, I want to start by saying that um, my concept of emotional intelligence or my perception of it really changed with this course. I thought it was before this. I thought it was mainly, for personal relationships and how you handle your personal conflict and personal, interpersonal friendships and romantic relationships. But I figured out that emotional intelligence isn't just about being emotional, but being aware of how emotions influence decisions, behaviors, and relationships. It's the ability to understand, recognize, and manage emotions. And it really plays a very important role in leadership. According to Daniel Goleman in 1995, emotional intelligence is a hard skill, not a soft one, that really influences how relationships play out at work. So, throughout the course, we read about different skills and barriers that people encounter when it comes to emotional intelligence, both at work and in personal relationships. And I think the one that resonated most in terms of wanting to strengthen for me is self regulation. I've definitely noticed that, in stressful situations, it's very easy for me to react quickly and quote unquote verbal vomit, especially since I suffer from ADHD. So I know that I am a very impulsive person. I think strengthening this area of my EQ will really help me lead with more intentional questions and intentional responses to things. Um, it is going to be especially relevant as I move up in the organization and to leadership positions. I think to me, it is easy for me to regulate myself when it comes to, stepping away initially, but when it comes to responding back is when I really need to strengthen that skill. And I really want to learn how to pause in high stress situations or, you know, upsetting situations. So obviously that is going to have impact on every area or aspect of my life. In my personal life specifically, I think that this would help me handle stress better, communicate more clearly. Even when I am stressed, it will help me, not ruin my entire day and get back to a good mindset. It'll help me be intentional in times of conflict. So, really listening to understand rather than to reply, and be more empathetic with people. I think that'll ultimately lead to me putting myself in other people's shoes and being aware of their emotions in my personal life. Now, when it comes to coworkers, I think it really will help me create a physical um, space, I guess, where people feel safe. Especially will be important when I want to build trust with people that I work with. It's going to ultimately lead to better work in teams and communicating more clearly, being more collaborative, and being able to give feedback and receive feedback in a better way. I think really listening to what people say is very important. One thing that Dr. Kaufman was going over during our last Zoom session was about listening and then repeating back what you heard to the person without trying to define someone's emotions or telling them what they're feeling rather than telling them that you hear them. And ultimately, I want to be known for being a thought leader within my organization and being, an example to others. So I think this is going to help me a lot with that. I don't have direct reports at the moment, but I want to be known as a supportive leader. Um, According to Goldman in 2002, how a leader responds emotionally can either motivate or discourage a team. So, being calm and making people feel heard will build trust and respect ultimately, which I think will lead to better feedback loops. So, that means, whenever I give feedback to a person, they will feel like I understood them and that I'm seeing their side of the equation. And the other way around too, when someone that I directly manage wants to come to me with their thoughts on something or give feedback, they will feel the trust to do so, and they are safe. Ultimately, I want to be known as a mentor rather than a manager, so I think this will really help me be more intentional with my communication with direct reports. Now, I am only one person, but hopefully, as I do grow up in my organization and go up the ladder, I will have a wider impact. Um, there is, according to Harvard Business Review in 2009, at the organizational level, emotional intelligence contributes to a good culture. And leaders that have emotional intelligence influence the entire workplace environment. So I really hope to be an example of that. Ultimately, lead to employee retention because people are happy working here and generating better results. And then ultimately, if people trust each other, it will lead them to have a better process for making decisions. Now, I also want to talk about the challenges and barriers that I will definitely face as I am trying to improve this because, this has been going on for my entire life, so it won't be easy to change it. We usually tend to, go back to what we've always known and the way that we've always acted. So I will definitely encounter some emotional reactions when it comes to high stress situations. I definitely will be put through stress environments, especially as I go up the ladder, as well as deadlines and lack of self awareness. I think it's important to make the patterns known so that you can step back and decide to change them. But sometimes the pattern will continue to happen, and to me, it will be important to not get discouraged and continue to work. I think improvement, it doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect at first. But a few things that I've already been doing and that I will continue to do is reflect on the communications that I have with people. So what are they trying to say? Really putting myself in their shoes and understand, where they're coming from. Meditation is a great tool that has helped me, and I want to continue to do so. It helps me in all areas of my life. Um, I want to turn back to people that I trust to seek feedback. Um, so not only people that are above me, but also people that are under me, or especially people that are my direct reports, to give honest and candid feedback about my communication skills and how our team has handled those emotional and high stress situations. Um, and then lastly, this is not something that I've done so far, but I really want to try it, which is journaling, and really letting my thoughts go in writing to see what I get to and what I can learn about what I'm feeling, um, and the way that I view things. So because I want to make this change in all areas of my life, there are multiple people that I will go to as a support system, starting with mentors and managers at work, and like I said, peers and colleagues. So not only people that I report to, but people that have reported to me, or that sit in other areas of the business that I work with, either directly or indirectly. I really want to make sure that they trust that they can give me candid feedback whenever. Um, Friends and family, that people that know me outside of work and in a more personal context, I think will also be very helpful. Um, and then lastly, I want to continue consuming content and resources like the ones we saw in this course. I think, as research continues to go on in emotional intelligence, and especially when it comes to new tools and new factors like AI, I really want to be, up to speed with all the most up to date research. You will find my reference slide at the end of this deck, and thank you very much.